As the first notes of the wedding march echoed through the grand hall, all eyes were on Chloe, the bride. Dressed in a gown that sparkled with 1,000 crystals, she looked like a princess from a fairy tale. Her groom, Alex, a man from a humble background, watched her with tears of joy in his eyes. Everything was perfect, almost too perfect. The guests, all influential and wealthy, murmured their approval. This was the wedding of the season, a lavish affair that cost a fortune. Chloe, the daughter of a business tycoon, was known for her beauty, but also for her arrogance. She had always gotten everything she wanted, and today was no exception. As Chloe glided down the aisle, her eyes scanned the crowd. She smiled graciously at her family and friends, but her smile faltered when she saw an old woman sitting in the front row, right next to Alex's parents. The woman was dressed in simple, worn-out clothes, a stark contrast to the designer outfits around her. Her face was etched with wrinkles, and her hands, resting on her lap, were rough and calloused. Who was this woman, and what was she doing in the front row? A place reserved for the most important guests. Chloe's perfectly manicured nails dug into the bouquet she was holding. She shot a furious look at Alex, who seemed completely oblivious, his gaze fixed lovingly on her. The ceremony began. The vicious words about love, commitment, and partnership filled the air. But Chloe wasn't listening. Her mind was racing, consumed by the presence of the old woman. She felt a wave of humiliation wash over her. How dare Alex invite someone so common to their wedding without telling her? Did he not understand the importance of appearances? She had spent months planning this day, ensuring every detail was flawless, from the champagne fountain to the exotic flowers. And now, this old woman was ruining it all. The whispers she imagined from her high society friends felt like daggers. When it was time for the vows, Alex spoke from the heart. He talked about how Chloe had brought light into his life, how her love had made him a better man. His voice was thick with emotion, and his words were beautiful. But when it was Chloe's turn, her voice was cold and strained. She rushed through her vows, her eyes darting back to the old woman, who was now dabbing her eyes with a small handkerchief. Seeing the old woman cry only fueled Chloe's anger. She felt a surge of resentment towards Alex and his family. They just didn't belong in her world. After they were pronounced husband and wife, the reception began. The hall was filled with music, laughter, and the clinking of glasses. But Chloe couldn't enjoy it. She pulled Alex aside, her voice a harsh whisper. "Who is that old woman, Alex? And why is she sitting with your parents?" Alex looked confused. "That's Grandma Millie. Chloe, I told you about her. She's my grandmother's best friend. She practically raised me after my grandma passed away. She traveled for 2 days on a bus just to be here." Chloe scoffed. "You told me about some Millie. You didn't tell me she looked like a beggar." "This is my wedding, Alex, not a charity event. My friends are asking who she is. It's embarrassing." Alex's face fell. He looked at Chloe, his eyes filled with disbelief and hurt. "Embarrassing? Chloe, that woman is family to me. She's one of the kindest people I know. She has a heart of gold. I don't care about her heart of gold," Chloe snapped. "I care about my reputation. You need to ask her to leave. Now." Alex stared at her, speechless. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. This wasn't the woman he thought he knew. The woman he fell in love with was supposed to be kind and compassionate. Where was she now? But Chloe was relentless. She marched over to the head table, grabbed a microphone, and tapped it loudly. The music stopped, and all eyes turned to her. A cruel smile played on her lips. "I have a special announcement to make," she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. She pointed a finger towards Grandma Millie. "I'd like to thank this woman for gracing us with her presence. It's not every day we get to dine with street folk. But the party is for our real friends and family now. So if you could kindly see yourself out, the kitchen staff might have some leftovers for you." A wave of shocked gasps and murmurs rippled through the crowd. Alex's parents looked horrified. Grandma Millie's face turned pale, and tears welled up in her eyes. She slowly stood up, her body trembling, and began to walk towards the exit, her head bowed in shame. Alex felt a fire ignite within him. He strode towards Chloe, his face a mask of cold fury. He took the microphone from her hand. "Stop," he said, his voice booming through the hall. Everyone froze. He turned to face the guests, his eyes locking with theirs. I apologize to all of you. It seems I've made a terrible mistake. Not by inviting Grandma Millie, who has more grace and dignity in her little finger than some people have in their entire being, but by marrying someone so cruel and heartless. He turned to look at Chloe, whose face was now a mixture of shock and rage. The person I thought I was marrying today is not the person standing before me. My vows were to someone I thought had a good heart. Then he walked over to Grandma Millie, who had stopped by the door. He gently took her hand and led her back towards the stage. He knelt before her in front of everyone and said, "Grandma Millie, I am so sorry. You are one of the most important people in my life, and you should be treated with the utmost respect. Please, stay." He then stood up and faced Chloe again. His voice was calm, but resolute. "This wedding is over. I cannot and will not be married to a person who judges others by their clothes or their bank account. That's not what love is. That's not what family is." Chloe stood frozen, her perfect world crumbling around her. Her father rushed to the stage, his face red with anger, but Alex held up a hand. "This is my decision," essayed firmly. He then turned to his parents. "Mom, Dad, let's go." He put a protective arm around Grandma Millie and, along with his parents, walked out of the grand hall, leaving Chloe standing alone on the stage, her crystal-studded gown suddenly looking like a hollow costume. The silent, judging eyes of her wealthy guests were now all on her. For the first time in her life, Chloe was utterly, completely alone. She had everything money could buy, but in that moment, she had lost the one thing that truly mattered, and as the reality of what she had done crashed down upon her, the only sound in the vast, silent hall was the sound of her own hollow sob.